to Excel at Data Mine. My name is Billy Decker. I'm a business intelligence consultant that works for StatSlice, a consulting firm based out of Dallas, Texas. And today we're going to talk about how to detect data categories in less than 5 minutes using the Microsoft Excel data mining add-in tool. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to open up our copy of DM add-ins _ sample data, and we're going to go to the worksheet that's called Table Analysis Tools Sample. So the first thing we got to do on this is we actually have to select a table here, and we have to do that in order to be able to pull up our table tools within the data mining add-in tool. And so then we can come over here and select Analyze, and then we simply come over here and click on Detect Categories to start the wizard. So the first thing the wizard's going to have us do is it's going to have us pick out columns that we want to use to define our different categories. And so we're going to go ahead and leave them all in here except ID. And we're going to go ahead and leave the default option on auto detect for the maximum number of categories, and also for append a category column to the original Excel table. Then you simply click on Run here. It'll take it a few seconds. And now it immediately dumps us into a categories report. But before we look at this, let's go back to our original table. We could see that it actually added a column here that categorizes all of our different rows into different categories. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't have a really great naming convention, so we don't know what any of these different categories actually mean. But we can see, if we go through here, we can start to get an idea of different statistics about the categories if we wanted to look at them here, but there's actually a much easier way to do it. If you go back to the categories report, it actually summarizes a lot of that data for you about the different categories. So we see that the first thing up here is that we have 7 categories were detected, and we have a nice little histogram here of the row count by category, and so we can see how the rows are actually distributed amongst all the different categories. Now, the first little section down here that starts to really break down into the different categories is called category characteristics. And we can see here that we have it filtered to category 1, and we can see from this that what it does is it picks out values for different columns and assigns them a relative importance to the other columns. So you can basically get a ranking here to see what the defining characteristics for a category actually is. So we can see from this that a very low income below $39,050 is by far the most important characteristic for category 1. But then if we go over here and look at category 2, we see that it's actually cars, and not owning a car actually is the most important characteristic. And then if we want to dig a little bit deeper within each category, we have this stacked bar chart down here. And what it allows us to do is we can actually filter on any of the columns we want. So let's go ahead and filter to cars here. And what we can see is that what we have is we have a distribution within each category of car use or car ownership. So we can actually see here in category 2, they're almost all predominantly people who don't own any cars. Some people own some cars and some people own 2. And then we come over to category 3, where everybody owns either 1 or 2 cars. You don't even have 3 or 4 cars in that group or category. And so that is how you can detect categories in less than 5 minutes using the Microsoft Excel data mining add-in tool. Thank you and have a great day.